Hey, friendos, Ash here with Gents. Hope you're doing well. It's that time of year again. Keep 10 fragrances for life. Designer edition, 2021 edition. Editions upon editions, inception. So in front of me here, I have the 10 fragrances I could keep. If I could only keep 10, both warm weather and cool weather fragrances, the whole shebang. And I'll tell you guys honestly, this list would change depending on when you catch me. You know, one day I might take one of these out and put a different fragrance in, but as of today when I'm filming, these are the 10. So let's jump into it. First off, a couple of mentions. These are like the first fragrances out, basically like the Final Four basketball tournament, you know, the first one's out. So close, so far. First up, Azzaro Wanted by Night. This one has been a wingman of mine for a while. Really love the fragrance. The pricing on it is fantastic. Warm, it's sweet, it's spicy, it's sexy. You got a little bit of smoke through here as well. Great fragrance. Azzaro crushed it with this one. Yeah, still love the way that one smells. Oof. And then the other fragrance I want to mention is L'Homme Ideal Extreme from Guerlain. Now this one has that L'Homme Ideal DNA with almond being featured prominently. Here you've got additional tobacco and plum. The fragrance is absolutely stunning. The big drawback with this one, really hard to find. In the US, this stuff is just not easy to come by. It will rarely, very rarely pop up at discounters, and typically it's sold out within an hour or two when it does. So very few people can get their hands on it. Selfridges right now, as of this video, has it where you can make a purchase. That's about the only place I think you might be able to scoop this up in the US without paying some crazy jacked up price on eBay. That's really the main reason that it's not in the official top 10. Because in this list, I made a conscious decision not to include discontinued fragrances or fragrances that are crazy difficult to find. Main reason for that is every time I do, people seem to get annoyed by it. Now, these 10 that I'm going to keep are in no particular order. We're just gonna bang right through these, just like your mom. First off, Tom Ford Gray Vetiver. I'm a big Vetiver fan. I love it as a note. I love it as a focal point of a fragrance. And this one does Vetiver in a very clean, easy to wear way with a bit of freshness. It is a fantastic office fragrance, but really it's a fantastic year-round fragrance. Quality here, very good, like you would expect from Tom Ford. The price, also like you would expect from Tom Ford, pretty high. So Tom Ford Gray Vetiver, gotta have that one. You can wear it casually, formally to the office. Basically any situation, you're gonna smell like $1 million. Up next, Versace Oud Noir. This one has been a love of mine for a really long time. So it's one of those deals where you just don't want to say goodbye. Does it have a little Tom Ford Oud Wood to it? A little bit. You could say maybe it's inspired by what Tom Ford Oud Wood did in making a fragrance that features oud prominently, but still is very wearable for the masses. Really nice, spicy fragrance. You've got this saffron note in here and cardamom that really make themselves known. The fragrance is a fall and wintertime stunner, and I love the presentation as well. So Oud Noir, gotta keep that one. And we'll go ahead and bust out another Vetiver sort of fragrance here. Terre. This is the original Eau de Toilette. This is one of those modern masterpieces that I just never get tired of. It's a little bit divisive. Some people don't dig the opening in this one because it has this flinty earthiness, kind of a dirty orange opening. I think it smells classy. I think it smells top notch, but some people, they can't get down with that earth. So this is a fragrance that you would use in a lot of the same situations as Tom Ford Gray Vetiver. This is going to be an office fragrance, a gentlemanly, slightly mature sort of scent. Works really well in formal situations, business situations. Potentially could wear it on a date depending on what you're doing, where you're going, and it's a great casual fragrance as well. So as long as you don't mind that somewhat divisive earthy orange opening, I think that is a stunning scent, and I feel like everybody has to at least smell that and be familiar with that fragrance. And of course the Vetiver in there just seals the deal for me. Let's go with the summertime scent next. Light Blue Forever. This is the newest fragrance out of everything that's going to be featured here today, and it is my favorite Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. It is not close. Well, maybe a little bit close. Oh Intense is good too, but I like this more. So this one is all about that opening. The grapefruit is very rindy. It's tart, it's sour, but fresh and sweet at the same time. The opening just hooked me first time I smelled it, and I still love the way that it smells. Now, as it dries down, it does lose a little bit of that originality that you get from the opening, but I think it still smells really pleasant, and it absolutely crushes it as far as being a spring and summertime daytime fragrance. I've talked about this before. I did not have much faith in the light blue line, and that one came out, kind of revitalized it, revived it. So I'm actually looking forward to the next light blue flanker, and knowing Dolce & Gabbana, they're gonna let me down, but I'll forgive them because they came out with Forever this year. So they get a pass for at least 2 more years. Then I've got to keep this one, Gentleman Eau de Parfum Boisee from Givenchy. I had to get one from this line. So I was going back and forth, do I get the Eau de Parfum? Do I get the Eau de Toilette Intense? And ultimately, I kind of split the difference and went with this one. So you still have that lovely iris note that this fragrance line is really well known for, but you get a little more wearability out of this one as compared to Gentleman Eau de Parfum. Like a lot of fragrances here, a lot of versatility with this fragrance. You can wear it during the day, during the evening, across multiple seasons. You can wear it to the office. You can wear it just about anywhere. And I think it smells amazing in basically any situation. It's got just the right amount of sweetness. It has enough interest that when I smell it, or it's interesting enough that when I smell it, I don't immediately go, I smelled too much of that. It's got this bit of woodiness that gives it a slight masculine edge as the fragrance dries down. It is a great scent, and really Givenchy nails that line, or they have recently. So the reason I didn't go with Gentleman Eau de Parfum is because I'm going with this one, Dior Homme Intense. And the creamy, some people would say makeup-y style of iris that you're gonna find in Dior Homme Intense, well, Gentleman Eau de Parfum, it shares a bit of a similarity with this one in that regard. The two fragrances are not ultra similar, but they do both make that iris the prominent part of the fragrance, and they both have a similar style of iris, we'll say. Dior Homme Intense is one of my favorite fragrances ever, period. We're talking designer, niche, indie, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Dior Homme Intense is right up there in the upper echelon, one of my, like I said, absolute favorite things to smell on the planet. You've also got ambrette here, you have muskmallow, pear, cedar. It is one of, if not the best designer fragrances for formal situations, evening time situations in the fall and winter that I've ever smelled. And I just didn't want too much of an overlap. So that's why I took Eau de Parfum Boisee from the Gentleman line, because I really wanted one from that line too. Next up, let's go with the Chanel. We're going with Bleu de Chanel, the Eau de Toilette. And this fragrance to me is almost like just coming home. It's one of those fragrances you've smelled countless times. Yeah, I really couldn't tell you how many times I've gone through bottles of this thing. I had it when it was new, and I thought, oh wow, it's so great. And it really was one of those fragrances where the first time I smelled it, I fell for it. I thought it was amazing. And I wore it very heavily over the years, and maybe it fell out of favor a little bit. Nowadays I might wear Y Eau de Parfum or Y Le Parfum instead of Bleu de Chanel. But when I smell this, it puts a smile on my face. I don't think too many people out there can argue the versatility that this has. This really is an all season, all situation type of scent. It's gonna work literally anywhere, anytime, any age, and it's a big time compliment puller as well. It smells classy, it smells well done. Nothing here is harsh. It's just a great blue scent. And so as far as just straight up blue fragrances that go full on versatility, of the big three, if I had to keep only one, even though it may not be the one I wear as much nowadays, I think I'm gonna go Bleu de Chanel. And then I've got to keep this one as well, Prada Luna Rossa Black, big time love of mine. This one smells a bit similar to Bulgari Black, which is discontinued nowadays. Used to be very inexpensive. Also, a bit similar to Midnight in Paris from Van Cleef & Arpels. Also discontinued, also very expensive now. So both of those fragrances are ones I loved, but you can't really buy those easily now, but this one you can. And I would say of those three that Blue Rosso Black is the most modern of the bunch. It's the biggest compliment puller of the bunch, and probably the most versatile of the bunch as well. Great tonka note in this one. You also have Angelica, a little bit of citrus. It's a fragrance that maybe to some people when they first smell it, they might think, it's a little slightly out there as far as mainline designer fragrances go, but it works wonders. It's really versatile in cool weather. I know I keep saying that about a lot of these, but if you can only keep 10 fragrances, I think versatility is kind of important. And also, it's a great attention grabber. It's very unique, stands out among the other fragrances that are out nowadays. Yes, I compared it to 2 other fragrances, but as I mentioned, those are discontinued. People aren't wearing those nowadays. So compared to the other stuff on the market, pretty unique. Last 2 fragrances, both from the same house. First, Aqua di Gio Profondo. Now I make no bones about it, I'm an Aqua di Gio fan. Have been for a long time. Maybe not every Aqua di Gio fragrance. There are some Aqua di Gios that I think are maybe not so great, but as I've mentioned a number of times, the original Aqua di Gio, that was my signature scent for a long time. So a lot of good memories with that one. Said that like an absolute creepy uncle at Thanksgiving. A lot of good memories. You know what I'm talking about? Come here, smell my fingers. But yeah, the original Aqua di Gio, it's got a place in my heart. Aqua di Gio Profondo, it takes that original DNA and just tweaks it and changes it up a little bit and hands it back to me and says, here you go. Here's a little modern Aqua di Gio for you. Go reminisce. Really love the way it smells. The green edge that this fragrance has, I think, is fantastically done. Of course, you've got that citrus and aquatic freshness that you come to expect from Aqua di Gio, and a little bit of a mineralic edge. So Aqua di Gio Profondo, gotta have that stuff. And then last but not least, Armani Code Absolu once again. Ooh, yeah, this is my jam. It has vanilla, this kind of sparkling spiciness and sweetness. It is not quite as sweet, not quite as in your face as Code Profumo, which also is a very, very solid release. But I do prefer the slightly more rich, reined in scent profile. Code Absolu. This is going to be more cool weather fragrance, more an evening fragrance, date night fragrance. It is, to date, for me, the pinnacle of the Armani Code line. So of all the Armani codes, both the ones that came out before this and after this, I'm going with that one 10 times out of 10. So there we have it. The 10 fragrances that I would keep for life, if you ask me today, at the very end of 2021 when I'm filming this video. So that's gonna do it for this edition. I'll see you guys next time around. Let me know in the comments below what are some of the fragrances you would keep. You'd keep only 10. And thanks for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.